Hello everyone, in this video, let's explore topic 3.6 calculating higher order derivatives. Alright, just as you can obtain a velocity function from differentiating a position function, you can obtain an acceleration function by differentiating a velocity function. Alright, so given the position function s of t, you take the first derivative of this one, it's going to be the velocity function, right? And if you keep taking the first derivative of velocity function or the second derivative of the position function, you will get acceleration function. Now common higher order derivative notation. First derivative is going to be y prime or f prime of s or dy over ds. Second derivative is going to be y double prime or f double prime of s or d square of y over ds square. Third derivative is going to be y triple prime or f triple prime of s or d cube y over ds cube. Now from 4 derivative all the way up, we're going to use the number to represent the derivative, right? Now, why does the notation for the second derivative looks like d square y over ds square? Think of it as taking the derivative of the first derivative or derivative of dy over ds over ds. The notation above can be condensed to d square y over ds square, right? Now, example number 1. Find the second derivative of f of s equals 2s cubed minus cosine s plus natural log of s minus e to the s. Alright, so I have the first derivative is going to be 6s squared plus sine s, right? Plus 1 over s minus e to the s. And the second derivative is going to be 12s plus cosine s minus 1 over s squared minus e to the s, right? Example number 2. Back to the Burj Khalifa. Let's revisit a scenario from our first week of class. Suppose a ball is thrown from the top story of the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, UAE, 17 feet from the ground. The position equation that depicts the height s of t in feet. The ball is from the ground at time t in seconds. Is modeled by s of t equals negative 16 t squared minus 10 t plus 17. Now compute the velocity of the ball at t equals 5. Alright, so I'm going to show you how to use a calculator to do this question quickly, right? So you're going to print up the calculator. So you're going to go to home screen, hit on, alright, hit calculate right here. You need to input the function right here. So I have s of t, right? You're going to use notation right here. You need to hit control this guy right here. Alright, now you need to input the value right here. So it could be, and you hit enter when we see done, which means you will finish. Now, question A. Build the velocity of the ball at t equals 5. So then you need to take derivative of this one, right? So you need to hit menu, calculus, numerical derivative at a point, right? So the variable in this situation is t, right? So put t right here. And the value right here is going to be 5, right? And then you hit OK, right? So you need to input s of t right here because you already stored the function, right? Right? And then you hit enter. The answer is negative 170 feet per second, right? Now, compute the acceleration of the ball at t equals 5, which means you're going to take derivative of the position twice, right? Now I need to hit menu, calculus, numerical derivative at a point. The variable right here should be t. The value should be 5, right? Because t equals 5. Now I need to choose the second derivative right here. Hit OK, right? So I put s of t. Then I hit enter. The answer is negative 32, right? So I have a is negative 32 feet per second square. Question C. When will the ball hit the ground? This is the position function of the ball, right? When the ball hits the ground, which means S of t right here must be equal to 0, right? Now I'm going to bring up the calculator. Menu algebra right here. Numerical solver. S of t equals 0, right? Right? And then I need to define the variable t, so I need to put comma t. Right? So I hit enter. The answer is t equals 12.722 seconds, right? Now question D. What will the velocity of the ball be at impact with the ground? After you solve for t equals 12.722, you substitute this one into the velocity function. Alright, so I'm going to bring up the calculator right here. The velocity function is right here, this guy right here. Now, instead of t equal 5, I put t equal 12.722, right? So I need to copy this one down over here. Then I change the value of t, right? So I hit enter. The answer is negative 417.12 feet per second, right? Now let's move on to example number 3. Because the moon has no atmosphere, a falling object on the moon encounters no air resistance. In 1971, astronaut David Scott demonstrated that a feather and a hammer fall at the same rate on the moon. The position function for each of these falling objects is given by S of t equals negative 0.81 t squared plus 2, where S of t is the height in meters and t is the time in seconds. What is the ratio of the Earth's gravitational force to the moon's? Alright, so we know that the position function S of t with respect to the Earth is going to be negative 4.9 t squared plus 2. Alright, now you need to take the second derivative of this one. It's going to be S prime of t equals negative 9.8 t, right? And then this guy actually the function of the velocity, right? Now you're going to take the second derivative of the position function. It's the same thing as the acceleration, right? So it could be a of t equals v prime of t or s double prime of t, right? So it could be negative 9.8, right? So this one is the Earth. Now, what about the moon? The moon, you're going to use this one right here, right? S prime of t is vt, right? So it's going to be negative 1.62 t, right? Now, a of t is v prime of t is s double prime of t. It's going to be negative 1.62, right? Now, you're going to take the ratio of Earth to moon. So, Earth to moon is going to be negative 9.8 over negative 1.62, right? So, if you're going to use the calculator, it's going to be around 6.049. The Earth's gravity is 6 times that of the moon, right? Now let's move on to question 4. Find the second derivative of cosecant t. Right, so first we need to write y prime of t is negative cosecant t times cotangent t, right? Now, to find the second derivative, you need to use the product rule. So it's going to be, remember, u times v it's gonna be u prime v plus v prime u, right? So in this situation, u is this guy, v is this guy, right? Now u prime, which means cosecant t prime, is gonna be negative cosecant t times cotangent t, right? Times v, which means cotangent t, right? Plus v prime, which means derivative of cotangent t, equals negative cosecant square of t, right? Times u, which means cosecant t, right? Now I'm going to simplify, so this guy turns out to be negative side right here. Negative cosecant t times cotangent square of t, right? Minus cosecant cube of t, right? Now I distribute negative 1, so it could be cosecant t cotangent square of t plus cosecant cube of t, right? Now let's move on to example number 5. Find the second derivative implicitly, right? So we need to find the first derivative, right? So we have d over ds of s squared plus y squared equals d over ds of 25, right? Now derivative of this one, since this guy and this guy agree, right? So we have 2s. Now this guy disagree, right? So we have plus 2y, and then don't forget dy over ds. Derivative of 25 equals 0, right? I need to solve for dy over ds, right? So I have dy over ds equals negative 2s divided by negative 2y is going to be negative s over y, right? Now I'm going to check derivative both sides, so it could be d square of y over ds square equals derivative of negative s over y with respect to s, right? So this guy turns out to be, we're going to use the quotient rule, right? So remember u over v is going to be u prime v minus v prime u over v squared, right? So it's going to be u in this situation is negative s, right? So it's going to be negative 1 times y minus v prime, which means dy over ds, right? Times u, which means negative s, right? Over v squared, which means y squared, right? Now I'm going to simplify this guy. Negative y. Now negative side and negative side becomes positive, so it could be plus s, right? Times dy over ds, but dy over ds equal this one right here. So I just substitute this guy over here, right? So it could be negative s over y squared, right? So this guy is the same thing as negative y minus s squared over y squared, right? Now to simplify this one, I'm going to multiply the top and bottom by y, right? So this guy cancel out. Don't forget to distribute this one, right? So it's going to be negative y squared minus s squared over y cubed, right? Or you can factor negative side out, so it could be negative of s squared plus y squared over y cubed. This one is the answer for the second derivative, right? Now let's move on to number 6. If f of x equals 1 plus s over 20 raised to the 5th, you need to calculate the second derivative of 40, right? So you look at the answer choice right here, it's going to be decimal, right? So I'm going to print up the calculator. Now I need to store the function, right? So I need to hit f of s, right? And I hit control and this button right here, right? So it's going to be 1 plus s over 20 power of 5, right? Alright, I hit enter, done. Now, I need to use the second derivative, right? So I need to hit menu and calculus. And the variable right here is s. The value right here is 40. Then right here I need to change to second derivative and hit OK, right? Now I need to copy f of s right here. Then hit enter. The answer is 27 over 20. Now you want to convert this one to decimal, you need to hit menu, number right here, convert to decimal, hit enter. The answer 1.35, so the answer must be B, right? Now, example number 7, a curve given by the equation s cubed plus sy equal 8 has the slope given by this one. The value of the second derivative at the point where s equal to is. Alright, so now first you need to substitute 2 for s over here to solve for y, right? So I have 8 plus 2y equals 8. So y equals 0, right? Now I'm going to check the first derivative of this one or the second derivative of this one, right? So I have d square of y over ds square is the same thing as, I'm going to use the quotient rule, right? So it's going to be u over v, right? So it's going to be negative 6s minus dy over ds times s, right? Minus derivative of s equals 1, right? Times the numerator is going to be negative 3s squared minus y, right? Over s squared, right? Now, dy over ds equal this one, so it turns out to be, I need to simplify before I substitute values, right? So it's going to be negative 6s, negative 1 right here, distribute over here, it's going to be plus 3s squared plus y over s all together times s. Distribute negative 1, so it will be plus 3s squared plus y over s squared, right? Now I distribute negative s over here, right? So it turns out to be negative 6s squared plus 3s squared plus y, right? Plus 3s squared plus y over s squared, right? This guy turns out to be this guy cancel out. I have 2y over s squared is the final answer, right? Now I need to substitute 2 for s and 0 for y, right? So it's gonna be 0, so the answer is C. Now let's move on to example number 8. If y equals s times e to the s, then the end derivative of y is how much, right? Now you need to take the first derivative of this one to see what happens, right? So I have dy over ds is going to be d of this one over ds, right? So it's going to be product rule, right? So it's going to be e to the s plus s times e to the s, right? I need to factor e to the s out, so it's going to be 1 plus s times e to the s, right? Now next one, I take the second derivative, right? So I have d square of y over ds square. It's going to be product rule again, right? So it could be 1 times e to the s plus 1 plus s times e to the s, right? I need to factor e to the s out, so it could be 2 plus s times e to the s, right? Now you see the pattern right here. This one, this is 2. The first derivative is going to be 1. The second derivative is going to be 2. And I'm pretty sure that the third derivative is going to be 3, right? Let's check to see. Now, the third derivative is going to be 1 times e to the s plus 2 plus s times e to the s, right? Now you need to factor e to the s out, so it could be 3 plus s times e to the s. Again, this one is 3, right? So when it's come to n, this guy must be n, right? So the answer must be C. Now example number 9 is repeating example number 8, right? So I don't need to do this one. Now example number 10, let g be the function given by g of s equal cosine of negative s minus sine s plus 6. Which of the following statement is true for g of s? So I need to take the derivative of this one to see what happens, right? So I have g prime of s is going to be cosine of u, right? You need to use cosine of u. Derivative of this one is going to be negative u prime times sine of u, right? So this guy turns out to be negative of negative s prime is going to be 1, right? Times sine of negative s, right? Derivative of this one is going to be cosine, right? So it could be negative cosine of s. Derivative of 6 equals 0, right? Now g double prime of s. Derivative of sine u is going to be u prime cosine of u, right? So u is negative s, derivative of this one is going to be negative 1, right? So negative cosine of negative s. Derivative of cosine s is going to be negative sine s, right? So it could be plus sine s, right? Next, g triple prime of s is going to be negative sine of negative s, right? And plus cosine s, right? Now the fourth derivative, right? So I put g4 right here of s is going to be negative of negative cosine of negative s, right? Minus sine s, right? So I need to simplify this one. It's going to be cosine of negative s minus sine s, right? Now I stop right here because the maximum right here just the fourth derivative, right? So I don't need to do anything else. Now I need to compare this one with the answer choice right here, right? So this is g4s, right? It's going to be cosine of negative s minus sine s is actually the original one right here, right? So if I look at the answer choice right here, I'm going to add 6 both sides. So it's going to be y equals the fourth derivative, right? Which means g4 of s plus 6, right? So if I add 6 both sides, right? So I have 6 right here plus this guy plus 6, right? So this guy actually original one right here, which means g of s, right? But g of s is given y, right? So equals y. So y equals this one right here, right? Which makes answer choice A is correct, right? And it's good time to stop. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember that if you failing to prepare, you're preparing to fail.
We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine.